Hello and welcome back. This video is a follow-up from a Facebook post I did the other day, so if you haven't seen that, please do go and check it out. But today I'm going to show you a quick overview of how I use the free to download app Marine Traffic in conjunction with AIS and Navionics to find new fishing grounds. So this is what it looks like there, and it literally shows you every single vessel that is using AIS up and down your area. The ones we are interested in though is the orange boats. That is all the fishing vessels. The rest is all the cargo vessels, etc. and yachts. Like I said, anyone that is using it, and we can use this to our advantage. I've been using it for a number of years now to find new grounds. It's getting harder and harder these days with the invention of Navionics and just information open to everybody to try and find those little isolated patches. So this is something I've been doing for I think a couple of years now. I have told a few other people. I haven't seen many others talking about this or using it, but I've got what I need out of it. I've got loads of ground banked and I've found some lovely fish with it, so I'm now going to try and share that with you. Hopefully you find it of use. Just quickly, when you click on a vessel, this is what it pulls up. It shows you a photo of the vessel, its current voyage, its position, and its port calls, and there's a whole host of other info there as well. You know, you might find that interesting to know what sort of boat it is that you're looking at when you're looking at your local area, but the bit we're interested in, I'm going to come on to in a second. But this is all handy stuff. It tells you a lot of stuff, whether they're fishing and where they're going next. All right, I'm just going to pause this here for you on this slide. Right, to pull this up, I don't know if you saw it, once you click on a vessel, top right, there's a little track symbol, click that and that will pull up the current tracks of the vessel you're looking at. Now, obviously, this is a commercial fishing vessel. This one is a beam trawler, I believe. It may be a scalloper, but I think it's beaming, given the location. Now, you can see here, this shows you exactly where he has been. Now, commercial fishing, loved by some, hated by others. You know, I used to be one. I know the value they can bring in terms of knowledge. They're on the sea every day of the week, and they know the areas like the back of their hand. They bring a lot to the table for us as pleasure anglers. You can see here on the left hand side, he's gone round a few times in the same area, so he's found a little bit of fish. Obviously wasn't enough to stay on, and he's pulled out to the right, to the west there, gone up and down again, and then again didn't like what he's found, and is now pulling off out again to try and find some better stuff. So this here is a wealth of knowledge if you know what you're looking at and how to read it. So when you see a vessel that's going round and round in an area, bad example here because he hasn't found anything, he's moved off. But click on any one of those little arrows on those tracks, as I'm showing you now, pull it up and it will show you the exact position there. There it is, latitude, longitude. I've got to change the decimals in a minute. But yeah, it will show you the exact position of where that is. Punch those numbers over into Navionics and it will pull up exactly where that vessel was going round and round. And we haven't even turned on the next couple of features, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But that's just one way of using this already. So when you find a commercial vessel going round and round on the tracks, pull up the numbers, flick it over to Navionics and you can have a look. Now we're zooming out here. You can see here as well, there's quite a few vessels up and down the channel, quite a few on France there off Burke. They've obviously found some fish. Now, it used to be completely free, this. Now you only get 3 looks a month or you got to pay for it, but it's only a couple of quid. So actually it's not that drastic depending how much you want to look into it. But like I said, you do get 3 goes a month for free. So just find a couple of vessels and have a play around. And then you've got 3 goes at this each month. And it's the same with the other stuff. There's a couple of paid options and a couple of not, but I'm going to come on to those in a minute. Just showing you down here, look. If you spot a load of commercial fishing vessels in one area, they're not there for a reason. You know, they're not there for no reason, sorry. They're gathered up. I mean, this here is a scallop fleet off of France. They're going round and round on stuff there. Just trying to use that as an example, that if you see groups of commercial fishing vessels on this app, then there's probably a good reason that they are fishing there. Onto a little bit of secret sauce, as it were. The 3 bars on the top right hand side, we're going to click layers and we're going to come on to this option here. And what we are interested in is density maps. That is the AIS of every single vessel in your area, and it will pull up a big bright track for you and you can see where every single vessel has been transiting. We're going to click it, select the most latest year, 2021 for us at the minute. You can have high, medium or low. I'll show you the differences in a second. But again, you only get a couple of goes of this at the minute. You can pay, it's a couple of quid. It's worth doing, I think. And that's what I've done. I've paid for it. But look at what we can see now. We've got the English Channel here, east to west lane. So you get quite a lot of density tracks there in the centre. But I'll show you how to take those off in a second. But that is all the AIS tracks in our area. Now we can see as well here, and I've got this on loop just so I can show you, outside of the two thick lanes, we have lots of red and orangey tracks, and also some dark blue bits that we're going to look at as well. That is all the commercial fishing activity in the area, and that tells us exactly where they're fishing. And you can see, just looking there is some really highly populated bits there. If you zoom in too far, you do lose it. That's a wind farm there just off Brighton that we've got. But you can see there, just back of that wind farm, some real bits there where those beam trawlers have really hammered, and that is actually a turbot and place hotspot in there, and locals will know that, no secrets. But having a scroll around, there's lots of big thick tracks that we can see seemingly in the middle of nowhere. That is where these commercial fishing guys have over the years found little patches of ground that has really produced for them. Coming west over to my area, Eastbourne, again, there's some real good patches there, isn't there, eh? And a bit further out into the shipping lanes, again, some really highly targeted marks. Now, they're not fishing on nothing. Often it's beam trawlers or scallopers, but this is knowledge gained from years and years and years that we can now take advantage of. And I'm just going to pause it here for us. So it's not just the red tracks we're interested in. These little blue bits here that I've highlighted with these fingers, that's bits they haven't towed. Now, normally a commercial won't tow an area for two reasons. One, it's either too hard that it's going to rip their gear up and they can't tow over it, or the other reason is that it's too soft. So the ground is too soft, their gear digs in, and they run the risk of either flipping or their gear gets so sanded up it's not worth their time and effort. That, to us as anglers, is also highly valuable information, because we obviously want to fish the reefs and the soft bits of ground. So when you're looking at this, don't just look at the red lines and tracks. And again, there's more here as well. Lots of areas. Again, you've got to put your cursor over it, and I'm going to show you that in a second to get the numbers, and you can then pull it up into Navionics. And I'm going to pause this bit here as well. Now again, there's going to be another little bit here by this finger. You can see there it's a bit more denser than the other colours around it, even though it's a heavily transited route. Now there's obviously a wreck there, or a bit of hard ground, or maybe even soft ground, and a trawler has gone round and round on that consistently to make that darker. Again, that's probably an area that we're going to want to be looking at and pulling up to have a look at Navionics. I'll pull across again now. Now I've sort of highlighted what we're looking for. You can see loads of patches here, both bits that are towed and bits that have been avoided. There's literally hundreds of patches here. So you've got, this is just my area, so anyone local is probably eyes are lighting up now. There's loads of little spots that you can pull up the coordinates of, have a look in Navionics, and that will then start trying to tell you whether it's hard or soft or banks. But this opens up a wealth of new marks to try. Clearly, it doesn't put the fish on our hooks. You have to know how to fish it. You've got to spend a lot of time working it out and how to fish it, when to fish it. And that's not something that any app is going to tell you. Just like Navionics, you know, it will show you the mark, but it won't tell you how to fish it. This is me just putting the cursor over it. And I'm going to go on to a bit now. I'm going to tone down the AIS, and I'm going to show you a couple of extra little tricks and tips that I've got to make this even easier and to find you even more marks. Quick point I didn't show you. If you go to the density maps options again and just turn the opacity down to medium or even low, your cursor is actually a lot more easier to see. I mean, it's just there in the center about where that blue hole is. Put your cursor over anywhere on the map, and then you click that cursor, and that is where you get your numbers from to go and punch into Navionics or down on your plotter. I've got to change the format of these in a second, but I'll do it in a minute. But that's just to show you that the cursor is there. When that's fully turned up, you can't actually see it. This is me just looking at a patch of hard ground, or potentially even a wreck actually, that the commercials have avoided. Again, just highlighting that those blue bits are actually worth checking out as well for you. So to change the format of the lat and long, just go into your top right again, scroll down to settings, and then on the left hand side it pulls up a whole wealth of options. In units and time, that's where you can change all the stuff. And we want to go from decimal here to the DMS, and that gives you all your lat and long with your eastings and northings, and then it just makes it easier to put into your plotters and your apps and the rest of it to pull all the numbers up. Again, just going to stick the cursor over it. Don't zoom in too far because you lose it. And then there's your numbers to go and plug in. So this next bit is going to enhance this even more. I'm going to show you a little paid option just to make this experience even better for you. And it really is the secret sauce, this one. Density map options. Get advanced density maps. Click learn how. £1.79 a month or £15.49 for the year. and this is going to allow you to do this in a minute. So at the minute, we're currently looking at every single vessel that has AIS tracks. Go into the density maps options again, and we can now, with that paid option, I'm just going to crank it up to high or low here. I think I'm playing about with the settings, just to give you a quick example of what it looks like. At the minute, we've got all traffic selected. I can now scroll down and select fishing vessels only, and now this is what that looks like. A bit of a Predator style dark map there, but that enhances that experience for us as anglers even more now, and you can really see how much the ground is hammered. But look at that there. That is information that is worth a hell of a lot more than what I'm paying for this subscription, 15 quid a month. Possibilities are endless here. You do have to work for it still. You have to go and put the time on the ground. You have to go down there. If you've got a water wolf camera like I have, or another underwater camera, you can stick those down over the marks. You can see exactly what the bottom's like. Transfer that to your diary or your YouTube videos, wherever it is you're doing. But this here has been a little bit of a game changer for me as a layer to the Navionics as well. This here is something not many people use. If you're seeing this for the first time, do tell me and drop me a like or a comment in the description there, or sorry, on the video, just to let me know you found it useful. But using all those little cursors and the rest of it, there is so much ground out there that you probably don't even know about. Little patches of bits. I'm not going to harp on about it too much more because you can go and have a play about in your own areas. But this will find new grounds, new fish, and maybe even some personal bests as a result. You never know. The commercials fish this at certain times of the year, so don't expect to go out there and find loads of commercials. They transit up and down this country, finding their bits and bobs as and when they go. But this will help you definitely put more fish on your boat. Well, hopefully you found that useful. I have kept this to myself for the last couple of years. I've only told a couple of friends about it. But like I said, I haven't seen many people using it. So hopefully you are seeing this for the first time and going, oh, well, I'm going to go and do that in my area. And I really do truly hope it helps find you a bit of extra fish, because that's what it's all about. And that's what this video is for. So if you have found that useful, please do let me know in the comments. Smash the like on the video and do give us a subscribe. There'll be plenty more fishing videos and related topics along the way. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all again soon.